All the world has seen saints. Some of them are well known. Some are even given the title of saint after a long, expensive, and often politicized process. Other saints, the vast majority, are hidden. Their names are known to few. They have no titles and never will have. They seek neither fame nor titles nor recognition of any kind. But they are saints, nevertheless. I have seen saints in the silence of monasteries, in the loneliness of nursing homes, in the suffering of hospitals, in the selfless dedication of mothers and fathers in houses of our own neighborhoods. I have even seen some in our own parish family. When I was growing up, and indeed through most of my adult life, the best-known living saint was a humble nun known universally as Mother Teresa. She accomplished much. Her smiling, worn, tired face could be seen everywhere. She received the Nobel Peace Prize, was on the cover of Time magazine, and after her death, she was canonized. It was official. She was a saint. During the canonization ceremony of Mother Teresa, Pope Francis diverted its attention, just for one moment, to those other saints who do the same work with the same love as Mother Teresa, but who will never be noticed, the silent, hidden shepherds in our world. He said, "I would like to remember those who spend their time in the service of our brothers and sisters in difficult or risky environments, like Sister Isabel, the Spanish sister who was killed 2 days ago in the capital of Haiti." We can be sure that when the Holy Father mentioned this unknown woman, almost no one listening had ever heard of Sister Isabel. Yet she embodied the best of the spirit of Mother Teresa, whom the world was honoring so publicly that day. Sister Isabel Sola Matas was from Barcelona and was always known simply as Isa. A restless, strong-willed woman, she felt a strong calling to serve the world's poorest people, and so she became a sister at 19, hoping to serve in Africa. And she did. For 15 years, she dedicated her life to the poor of Equatorial Guinea. Then in 2008, she was called to serve in the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere, a tiny country quite close to our own shores, a country that for centuries has been plagued by some of the world's greatest evils: extreme poverty, colonialism, slavery, blatant corruption, violence, natural catastrophes, foreign exploitation, and an international community which prefers to turn its back and pretend not to see. This is the nation of Haiti. When Isa arrived there, even after her years of experience in Africa, what she saw shocked her. The poverty was so extreme, the hunger so great, the resources so depleted through corruption. She could not believe people were actually living this way. With all her tremendous energy, she set about to making a difference in people's lives, especially the lives of the children. The only thing that mattered to her was serving people who could not help themselves. Project after project she saw through, establishing things that could then be passed on to the local people to operate. Schools, hospitals, food pantries, housing. The need was enormous in every area, but her love was more enormous still. Then came the terrible earthquake of 2010, considered one of the worst catastrophes ever. All was destroyed. The death toll in this tiny island nation rose to over 230,000. Isa ran to the school to try to save as many of her students as possible buried under the rubble. The new school she had been building became a graveyard. Everything she had built up was suddenly gone. She spent endless days and nights treating the wounded, amputating limbs herself, and sharing the terrible hunger that can drive one over the brink of insanity. The faith of the good sister was tremendous, and the hope she radiated was contagious. Someone asked her later how she could understand God's absence in the disaster. She replied, "I have never seen God more present than in those days after the earthquake. I have seen miracles." Tirelessly she labored on, creating workshops to provide artificial limbs to those who had lost their own limbs in the quake, establishing mobile health clinics to serve the people in rural areas, building new schools to replace those destroyed, soliciting resources for people to start over. Her life was always at risk because of the ever-present violence, corruption, and instability of the country. She never lost her faith in people, even in the most terrible circumstances of extreme hunger and the violent crimes such desperation can lead to. She always said, "If God does not give up on us, how could I?" And so it happened that on September 2nd, 2016, as she was driving to help rebuild a school, the good sister was gunned down for the $3 she had in her purse. As someone wrote on social media following her death, "We lost a woman who had made a bet for the forgotten ones, those whom no one wants and who are on no one's agenda." There are many of these forgotten ones in our world. And there are many Isas, many Mother Teresas, many selfless saints and shepherds who choose not to forget, not to ignore, not to pretend. That perhaps is the best definition of a saint. 1 month after Isa's murder, Hurricane Matthew struck Haiti, wiping out 90% of the southern region. The storm came as a prophet's voice, calling out loudly that the world still is and always will be in desperate need. There is a burning hunger in humanity, hungering for food, hungering for love, hungering for saints, hungering for shepherds, like Isa, like Mother Teresa, like Jesus, like you, and like me.